Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. As I stand before you this Labor Day, I must say it is one of the most disappointing days of my life, and at the same time, it is a rejoicous moment in my life. The disappointment is that there has been a reality that I trusted humankind. I believed that humankind was really good, that humankind really cared about one another. I realized that it was difficult sometimes for them to express it because of the challenges that they had to go through in order to do that. But the foundation for which they exist was to do good, to care, and be sufficient in all of that. I trusted that. I believed in that. There are things that happen in this earth that I see that would produce all of those things that we say we want. The things that I've heard you talk about, the things I've heard you tell of your dreams about, dreams that I myself hold. And the problems that exist and how to eradicate those problems have been made so clear to me. And I'm thinking that you telling me that you are like me, you care about the things like me. I'm a God-fearing person, so are you. If you're a God-fearing person, you got to love, and anything that starts stepping outside of the realm of love is something that you detest. And I just can't understand why we are so separated in things like this until I realize that in this understanding of God, we got people over here perhaps in a section of earth calling themselves Mennonites, or another section of earth calling themselves Jehovah's Witnesses, or another side of the earth calling themselves Seventh-day Adventists, or another Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal, whatever you want to call all of these different names. If you separate them all, they exist because separately because they got a pattern of conduct. You might want to say a belief system that's different than one another. And it allows them to stay separate. They got some guys out there, I keep forgetting their name. These are guys, everybody knows them. They're with the horse and buggies and black suits, top hats. Um, I can't recall them right now. They'll come back to me. And they all represent, say, God. But there's something that keeps them from being able to come together, to be one people, to be a human race. It reminds me when you see maybe white people sitting over here, or black people sitting over here, or Asian people sitting over here, and African people, so on and so forth. People, yes, but what good is it for you to just have your little section, your little section, your little section? I'm sure it might, to some degree, have some good, but what great, much magnificent good when you come together? And you might say, well, I like my individuality, and perhaps that's okay, nothing wrong with that. But as I look at flowers, the most beautiful flowers you will ever imagine are those individual flowers coming together as a bouquet. You ain't seen nothing like that until you bring a bunch of human beings that represents different shades, different, all of that they are individually, that comes together and become a community of humans. This is what I have lived for my whole life. And I thought you wanted that too. All my life I thought you wanted that. When I know that there are institutions that exist because they are necessary. They are divine because it addresses the concerns that we as human beings have in life, like food, clothing, shelter. Education is necessary. We know that. Healthcare, we know is necessary. Transportation, our infrastructure, and all of those different things that we can imagine that come up with, like phones and computers and electric lights and so on and so forth. All of that is is a benefit through humankind, made and produced by humankind for the benefit of humankind. That is what I see. And in that process, I see that every kid that comes up and reaches an age that they want to require an additional amount of education that takes them from wherever they're at to a next level they want to get to, that it is just theirs as the air they breathe. Nothing should hinder them from accessing it, unlimited and unrestricted, to be the best that they can be, to serve the best that we can be. To me, that's just natural. And so when I come out, I went to college free. I had went on a scholarship, but the system was still in play that's in play today. But I always knew that education is supposed to be free. Food is supposed to be free. Clothing is supposed to be free. Housing is supposed to be free. Education, healthcare, infrastructure, transportation, all of these things are free. Why? Because the resources that are given are free. So we got the materials free, and those who would benefit from it make them. So what are we paying for? What's the money about? Is it to restrict how much we can get at any given time because we will overload ourselves and waste? Is that what the money is for? Then why is it that some can do whatever they want to do and some can do nothing? Something is wrong with that picture. At least that's the way I see it. But see, when I come out of school, I'm trying to spend everything I possibly can in my words and in the actions that I take to alert the human beings that education is free, so that your kids can go to college whether you got money or not. That's not an issue. If they want to go, a trade school, if they want to go, or go into employment or career if they want to and qualify. Plain and simple. So I don't go out and trying to rob the system that I'm telling you that is failing us to grab enough money for myself. So when my kids get to the age and desire to go to college, now I can send them to an institution that's set up by the same ones that required me to go and hustle this money to prepare them so they can hustle this money back out of my hand by training you and then sending you back out on the side so they can hustle. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? What's wrong with that? So I decide that rather than going out there trying to rob in the game, and you can say, well, it's not rob, I'm not going to understand that, but to me, the way the system is set up is nothing but a big con game. A big con game, and the whole human race is conned. The whole human race has gone along with it. And you don't have to set yourself aside out there, a special group of believers in God, or a special group of believers in individuals and their races and stuff like that. You don't have to sit yourself out there to say this is what you think. You can be in the middle of hell and think that way. And hell knows it because you act like it. This is what we're given to do as individuals. This is how we determine who we are. Not when we're over here in a big group trying to say we're this. I mean, it takes that sometimes to move mountains. But in the middle of a mountain, there could be a speck there saying, I am. Why? Because I am. And that's sufficient enough for me. You can't do nothing about that, but you can use it for your benefit. Or you can be just denied your existence. So what do you choose to do? Denied your existence? Okay, I got kids. Because I didn't go ripping to get that money, they couldn't go. They tried to go, and they went for a while. But I couldn't keep them there because they want money. And if you want to get a loan, you got to pay that. Well, what is this, ladies and gentlemen? This is pure hell. Every one of these kids that's in college got a right to be there free. Every senior that graduates or anybody else that want to go to college next year got the right to be there. You say, well, how are we going to pay the teachers? You're going to pay the teachers the same way we pay you. What does that mean? That means that food, clothing, shelter, education is available to you at your desire. Just like you had the money. What do you do when you had the money? Now you don't need the money. You do the same things to get what you want, or get what you need, or get what you desire. This is a new way of life, a life that's beautiful like the sun that's shining in my face today. And we walking around here living in the pit of hell. In the United States of America, they got a God that they call demonic before he became president. And because he was demonic, he became president. And he acted demonic. And some people say, oh, we didn't know he was truly demonic. Let's get him out of here. And somebody say, we ain't going to let him go. We're going to hold on to him. And then the chance came for the public to speak. And the public said, we're going to get him out of here. The public said, yes, but he said no. And he was ready to tear down this nation and still ready to tear down this nation. And half of the people, or many people of this nation, are saying, give him back. Bring this devil back. And when you tell people to start speaking out the voice that there are things that's better in life, we don't have to continue to focus on this. Yes, this has happened to us. Yes, this exists and it is still happening to us today, but we don't have to dwell on it. Let us look forward to the future. The future holds that now every last one of us can have a career that gives us our greatest joy. We change this thing around. We can have a job that we can't wait to get to. And in doing it, we have our greatest happiness. And what are we doing? We are producing. And all of the stuff comes together, the food, the clothes, the shelter, the education, and the things that I just got through mentioning to you exist in such an abundance that the barns won't hold it, the reservoirs will overflow. And nobody would be right here suffering with a gun trying to kill someone. Out here calling hatred and racism and bigotry, and we the people are responsible for it. We the people allow it to continue to exist. When the churches tour, they tell you about it. Do they tell you to stand up? When you go to your meetings, do they tell you to stand up? And what does stand up mean? We ain't gonna take it no more, and we do tomorrow. But you got to know what you know, and if it's real, you got to be able to lay your life on the line. I didn't say kill. I said lay your life on the line. You got to be able to die for what you know. And if you won't die for what you know, if you won't give your life up for what you know, I ain't say kill anybody. Go take it. I'm going to force yourself on anybody. No, don't force yourself on anybody and don't let anybody drag you down. Make them kill you before you do it. Be not a fool. Stand up for what's right, wherever you are. Then men will know. They'll know who roll you ho. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I shouldn't be feeling like this, but I am. Why? Because you are hurting. And they won't tell you that on the TV. They won't tell you you can have a better life if you change. They won't tell you that the opportunity is out there for you to breathe, for you to live in peace and be prosperous and free. They won't tell you that. Why? Because they're dwelling on this junk that they want to keep you in. All around everything, hell. Who's producing it and how you complaining about it, but nothing about what you can do about it. What you can do about it gets no attention. Well, I can't do any more right now than what I've just done. So I'm going to go and post it and see if anybody cares, if anybody can identify. But it's real. And let us all wake up. Thank you.